That's right. It's time for Catching Up with Carley, presented by Meijer. And I'm lucky enough today to be joined by the Detroit Tigers head groundskeeper, Heather Nabozny. How's it going, Heather?
Well, thank you very much, Carley. How are you?
Good. So I understand you've been the Tigers head groundskeeper for 20 years now. What does your day-to-day look like?
Day to day, it varies depending on if the team's in town or if they're out of town. The
Mhm.
team's in town, generally, myself and the crew will be getting in for a night game, say around 10 a.m. We mow every day. We water the infield skin dirt area numerous times a day to keep it soft for the game. And we paint foul lines every other day, drag the track, keep the dugouts clean, make sure the bullpens are patched and are ready to go for the game. We set up batting practice later that afternoon. Batting practice runs for a couple hours, and then we break it down and start our pregame. Once pregame's set up, the game's played, and then post game, we usually spend about an hour on the field. Repairing the mound, repairing the bullpens, taking care of stuff like that. So we're ready to go for the next day.
So you're a big behind the scenes person. You make sure everything looks and is right for the players to play the games on the field and practice.
That is correct. I can't do it alone. I got to tell you that my crew is outstanding and they do a fantastic job.
So something that I'm super interested in and something that I think is amazing about you, you were the first female head groundskeeper in the MLB. How did it feel to pave the way for other women?
I mean, I didn't really think about it at the time. I was just, I got hired to do a job and that's what I focused on. If I paved the way, great. There's still not a ton of women in this industry, but it's not for everybody, especially baseball is not for everybody. It's really a grind, tons of hours, and you're here at the ballpark way more than you are at home. So you have to love it.
Mm-hmm. So not only were you the first woman, but at the time you were also the youngest groundskeeper at 28 years old. Was that difficult to overcome obstacles in your job field being a young woman?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I came from I was born actually in Milford, which isn't too far from Detroit, but I came from Grand Rapids, which is very different than Detroit. So it's a little intimidating at first. I just tried to stay focused on my job and do the best I can. Um, Everyone was great though. I mean, everyone with the Tigers was awesome. The crew that I had going into Tiger Stadium at age 28 was um, they were probably all older than me, which is fine. They were all very nice as well, and things worked out pretty good.
Well, that they did. Look at you now. I have to ask you though, what got you into this career path?
I actually started. My father, he worked for Ford Motor Company, but on the side he had a lawn care business. So when I graduated
Okay.
from high school, I went to Northern Michigan University for the first couple of years and worked for my dad in the summertime at his lawn care business. Through that, he would send his employees to continuing education seminars, and Michigan State was talking about their turf management seminar, and I was like, "Oh, you go to school for that? That sounded right up my alley." Long story short, I ended up going to Michigan State and going into baseball more so than like football, golf. Just kind of went in the direction of baseball.
Love it. Go green.
Yes.
And what are some previous grounds that you've worked on before making your way to Comerica Park?
I worked at Michigan State. I did my internship there, so I worked on all of the practice sites and the game fields at Michigan State. At the time, Spartan Stadium was actually synthetic, um, but the baseball, rugby, lacrosse, all the other soccer, and all that stuff were turf. After that, I started working for the Toronto Blue Jays at their spring training facility in Dunedin, Florida. I was there only probably about 5 months, and then a position opened up on the west side of the state at the West Michigan Whitecaps in Grand Rapids. So I interviewed over the phone for that job, and then moved up from Florida to Grand Rapids, and started. Actually, they just had built their stadium, so I was the first groundskeeper there with a brand new stadium, and I was there for 5.5 years before getting the job here at the Tigers.
Is there a league-wide regulation when you have to keep in mind when you are keeping the grass in the grounds at Comerica Park all ready for the games?
I mean, yes, we want to keep it consistent. We want to make sure we mow every day. There's specifications for the mound. It's a 1-inch drop every foot. The mound's 10 inches, so that has to be, that's got to be the same every single day. Same for the bullpen mounds. Also, like I said, the grass, we cut that at 3/4 of an inch, so it grows every day. So we cut it every day to make sure the ball's not going any slower through the outfield or anything surprising like that for the players. The infield dirt area, it's got to be groomed and nail dragged and watered. In the summertime, we're up to maybe 5 times a day just to make sure that infield clay has a lot of moisture to it so that the balls play more gently. If the infield's dry, then it can get very, very hard and get really nasty hops.
Okay, so I know baseball seasons in general are very taxing and there's something going on every day, but what are some difficulties that you've had to overcome in this condensed baseball season?
Scheduling. When the season was going to start, we were preparing for opening day, which here in Michigan, it's pretty cold, and we're just making sure everything's ready to go, and then boom, no season so far. So then we had to, COVID broke out in Florida. Our spring training's in Florida. I think we got maybe 4 days notice, maybe a little bit longer, not much, that spring training was going to be hosted in Detroit, the second spring training 2.0. So we had about 20 days of, baseball on the field every day, drills and batting practice and pitching and games. So that was different for us. And then the team went away for a few days. We started on the road, so it gave us a few days to get things prepared for our actual opening day. And then since then, our schedule's been, we've had some rain delays,
right.
A doubleheader last Sunday, and then now with the team not playing this week, just they're here practicing, so we're they're working out and everything, but stuff like that, just scheduling, really.
It's definitely been a whirlwind, and I doubt you have much downtime. But everyone wants me to ask, what are some of your best lawn care tips?
Lawn care tips. My best, I would say keeping up on it all the time. Well, no, that's not a good one because that's difficult to do. That's my job here. I try to keep up on it every day. Make sure that you're not overwatering. Make sure you're not underwatering. Overwatering can cause disease, and if you've got lack of air movement, you could be doing more harm than good. If you're open and dry and not many trees, you want to make sure to water enough. Fertilize once a month. Make sure you're not skipping any mowing. You want to make sure to get at least once a week. You want to cut off no more than 1/3 of the blade at a time because it ends up weakening the plant, and you could have some troubles in that regard.
Love it. Okay, duly noted. Heather, thank you so much for Catching Up with Carley, presented by Meijer. Your work does not go unnoticed, and I can't wait to see you at the ballpark hopefully soon.